Hello and welcome to Maths by Saz. This is my fifth lesson of D3 chapter number 8, exercise 8a, that is about the trigonometric ratios of obtuse angle. What are the trigonometric ratios and what is the relationship between the trigonometric ratios of acute and obtuse angles? These are the questions that have to be really clear to all of my students. So all those who have missed the previous lesson or they are catching us late, and there may be some people who are joining our channel for the first time, I'll be keeping the basic lessons in the channel library in the playlist where you can go and watch and understand the basic lessons, because the lessons of mathematics requires continuous integration and practice of the previous lesson with the new lesson. If the previous link and the channel is weak, the new lesson will also be affected. So please watch and understand previous lessons to get the better understanding of this lesson. And in order to understand this exercise, you should just not have the command on basic trigonometric ratios only, but Pythagoras theorem and the coordinate geometry as well. So please watch those all lessons properly so that you can understand these lessons well. In this class, students will be discussing intermediate level question number 10, and question 10 says that in the figure SR and SRQ is a straight line, and angle Q is of 90 degrees, and PQ is having the length 8 centimeter and QR is 15 centimeter. Then we have to find the value of the following. The first is sine PRS, PR and S. The second is cos of SRP, and the third one is tangent of PRQ angle. So let's move to the solution of the question. If we look at the diagram which is given to us, we can see that the hypotenuse of this triangle is missing. So first of all, we have to find the value of the hypotenuse, because the trigonometric ratios sine and cosine are the ratios of the opposite and adjacent and hypotenuse. So first of all, we have to go for the calculation of hypotenuse. And if we are supposing that this side, the face opposite to this is Q, so Q square will be equal to, in triangle PQ and R, in triangle PQ and R, Q square will be equal to P square plus R square, and which is equal to P is 15 square and Q is 8 square, that is double to 5 plus 64 double to 5 plus 64, and this is 289. And now in order to get value of Q, what I will be doing, I have to take the square root. This is 289. Okay, look children, this is the technique that we have studied in the previous class in D2. So O-level students have to have the good command on the previous concepts as well. So the value of Q and the hypotenuse is 17 centimeters. Okay, now it's the time to discuss the situations which are given in the question. The first requirement of the question is sine PRS, PR and S. If we look at the diagram, we can see the first requirement is the sine trigonometric ratio, sine of the obtuse angle, and recall my previous lesson that sine of this obtuse angle will be equal to sine of adjacent acute angle, that is PRS and PRQ, sine of PR and Q. And now the idea of sine is, and the sine requires opposite upon hypotenuse, and that will be 8 by 17, because with the reference of angle R, 8 is opposite. Coming to the second part, that is cosine or cos of S, R and P. Again, we have to find the cosine of this obtuse angle. Okay, recall the relationship between the cosine of acute and obtuse angle. Cosine of obtuse angle will be equal to minus time the cosine of adjacent acute angle, and that is cosine of PR and Q, and then this is the angle, and the concept of cos is, and cos requires adjacent upon hypotenuse, so it will be minus 15 by 17. Really important point, and it will not be helping you in trigonometric ratios but in coordinate geometry as well. Moving to the last requirement of the question, that is tangent, and tangent requires opposite upon adjacent, so this is 8 by 15. I hope really easy questions. And let's move to the next part, and let me read the question from the book. Question 14 says, given that x lies between 0 and 180 degrees, find the possible values of x for each of the following equations. Sine of x plus 10 degrees equals to 0.47, and cosine of x minus 10 degrees is minus 0.56. Now, what we have to do is that we have to first read the question, that x lies between 0 and 180 degrees. It means that the terminal arm of the angle is in the second quadrant. So recall the relationship of the trigonometric ratio sine of acute angle and obtuse angle. So sine of acute angle will be equal to sine of obtuse angle, 180 minus theta. Now what we have to do, first of all, we have to shift this trigonometric function sine to other side. So it will take the form x plus 10 degrees equals to sine inverse of 0.47. Okay, and sine inverse of 0.47, this gives me 28.03. X plus 10 equals to 28.03. Now, as we have the range values of x are between 0 and 180 degree, so either x can take, either we can have, let me do working here, either x plus 10 will be equal to 28.03, or x plus 10 will be equal to 180 minus 28.03, 180 minus 28.03, and this is equal to 151.997. Okay, and x plus 10 equals to 28.03 x plus 10. Now, in order to get value of x, what we have to do, we have to shift this to other side, and we have to shift 10 to other side. So equation will take the form x equals to 28.03 minus 10. Okay, 28.03 minus 10, and this gives me 18.03 degrees. Or what we can do is x equals to 151.97 minus 10, 151.97 minus 10, and this gives me 141.97. So the possible values of x are either 18.03 degrees or 141.97 degrees. I hope you are clear about this part, and let's move to the B part, that is cosine of x minus 10 equals to minus 0.56. So we know the simple rule that in order to solve the equation, I have to shift this trigonometric ratio to other side, and equation will take the form x minus 10 equals to cos inverse of minus 0.56. I'm going really slow so that my students can understand these lessons properly. Here we have to give the focus on this negative sign. This negative sign is indicating that the terminal arm is in the second quadrant, and when the terminal arm is in the second quadrant, it means the angle is obtuse angle. So we have to take care of this cos inverse of minus 0.56, and this is 124.05. x minus 10 equals to 124.05, and now what I have to do, I have to shift this 10 to other side in order to get value of x. So it will take the form 124.05 plus 10, that will be 124 plus 10 is 134.05 degrees. Okay, I hope students you are really clear about today's class. For next difficulty level, please catch me in the next class. Watch my lessons, like, share and subscribe the channel, and do not forget to press bell icon to get the notification of every lesson in time. Thank you very much.